Lots of good advice, too, at Westside Decorating Center. Good morning to you on this Tuesday morning, the 13th day of January. I'm Art Lewis. Nice to have you with us. We have open phones this hour at 989-752-6111. During the 10 o'clock hour, the Bay County Executive, Jim Barsha, comes a-calling this morning. And at 11 o'clock, we're going to learn about something called the Bay City Freeze Fest from Brandon Masnick. That'll be coming up during Focus. So that's what's ahead this morning here on WSGW. Also, during the 11 o'clock hour, we'll hear from Terry Henney, our farm director, who is at a winter conference and trade show of the Michigan Agribusiness Association. He'll be in Lansing, and we will chat with him at some point during the 11 o'clock hour. But for this hour, we chat with you. Again, the number 989-752-6111. I brought this up a couple of times over the past few months, but it seems that every time I bring it up, the prices go up. Talking about the price of new cars. And according to a variety of sources, including the Kelley Blue Book, car shoppers paid an average of $50,326 for new cars in December of 2025. And that's up 0.8% over November's average of $49,814, which has been going up. And the manufacturer's suggested retail price was at a record $52,627 in December, 1.2% higher than November. And apparently, it is not unusual for prices to go up in December. End of year prices and what have you. And the other thing that's driving this is the buying public has developed a taste for high-end and luxury vehicle sales, even in pickup trucks, where the average sale price of full-size pickup trucks was $66,386. Because, you can get them all decked out now in all kinds of luxury things. Electric cars, the average price was $56,691. Mid-size SUVs, which is a now leading segment in car sales, was $49,114, and compact SUVs at $36,417. And of course, what they don't tell you in this particular story is that the financing of these automobiles has been stretched, in some cases, to 8 and 9 years. I can remember when you could buy a house for that. I mean, I shake my head. Payments of $1,000 and more per month are not unusual. But people are buying. Here's some average transaction prices by manufacturer. BMW topped the list at $72,137. And by the way, this list doesn't cover the exotics. I mean, obviously, if you're going to throw Ferrari and Lamborghini and Aston Martin and some of those brands in, it's going to be sky high, because the average Ferrari price is probably $300,000+ or more. So they don't count in this survey. This is what the majority of vehicles sold represent. So BMW over $72,000 was their average sticker price. Geely Auto Group, I'm not familiar with, $61,328. Ford Motor Company, average price $58,445. Now, part of that has to do with the fact that their number one selling F-150 pickup truck, you can easily spend $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 on it. Volkswagen comes in fourth at $58,440. General Motors, $55,805. Stellantis, $55,418. Tesla, $53,680. Toyota, $45,584. Hyundai, $38,893. Honda, $38,884. Subaru, $37,126. The alliance of Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi averaged $36,878. And coming down at the bottom of the list with the least expensive average price, Mazda, $36,243. So if you're going out to buy a car, don't be shocked. And at the same time, we just had a story on, I heard during the news, during Michael Perch's newscast, that last month the price of used cars came down, which surprised me because usually, I mean, when the new car market skyrockets like it has price-wise, people look elsewhere to find bargains, and used cars are where they usually find them. But prices actually came down in the used car market, which means the supply must be pretty substantial out there. So if you're going out and buying a car, check your wallet at the door. Anyway, now there's some good news for money folks, particularly seniors. There's a list put out of the 10 states where Social Security goes the furthest. And Michigan is on the list, and it's not even number 10, although it is number 9. But here's what they say, the 10 states where Social Security goes the furthest. Number 1 is Kansas. Annual retirement expenses in Kansas are estimated at $54,961, and the average annual Social Security payment is $24,603. So 44.8% of your expenses are covered in Kansas. Oklahoma is number 2. Indiana is number 3. In Oklahoma, by the way, 44.1% is covered. In Indiana, number 3, 43.5%. Minnesota, 43%. Iowa comes in at number 5, covering 42.8% with Social Security of your annual expenses. Number 6, Nebraska comes in at 42.5%. Alabama comes in at 42.3%. Missouri comes in at 42.2%. What's interesting is Michigan comes in number 9, but its annual expenses are what's causing it not to be higher on the list. The average Social Security payment in Michigan is $24,705. But the annual expenses to retire and live here is $58,547, number 1 on the list of expenses to retire. But Social Security covers 42.2% of it. And Tennessee comes in 10th, covering 42%. So if you wonder if you're going to make it on Social Security, unless you've held off till 70, you better have some other forms of income. That's all I can tell you. Yes, indeed. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll get to Scott in Saginaw up first. Let me talk for a minute about tires. The tires you're driving on in the winter, because they should be different. Yep, believe it or not, there's a difference between winter tires and all-season tires. And if you stop at Quick Lane Freeland, where they sell all their tires for just $5 over cost, they will be happy to check your tires and tell you the difference. But why wait? I've asked John from Quick Lane Freeland to tell us the difference between winter tires and all-season tires. And let us hear from him now.
Hello, Art. Yes, winter tires are made with a pliable rubber compound that includes silica to stay flexible and maintain grip in freezing temperatures. Unlike harder all-season tires, which stiffen and lose traction in the cold, this flexible compound allows the tire to better conform to the road surface, providing superior grip and traction on snow and ice to keep you safe.
Thanks, John. Stop in. Have them check your tires. Have them check your cooling system because, winter's here, folks, and you need that cooling system to keep your water antifreeze from freezing, obviously, and so that you have heat in the car and all that good stuff. And also, while you're there, check out the new Ford lineup of vehicles from McDonald Ford, Quick Lane Freeland McDonald Ford, same company, it's on the same property. And they have all the new Ford lineup for you, and they also have a tremendous pre-owned lot with wonderful vehicles to fit all price budgets. Stop in today, McDonald Ford and Quick Lane Freeland. Two names standing ready to help all your automotive needs in 2026. Stop in today.
It's natural to have questions.
Now call Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. There's nothing affordable about it. You didn't keep your doctor. You couldn't keep your plans. It was all kinds of BS thrown in with it. And it has impacted healthcare costs, but it is not the sole reason healthcare costs are what they are in this country. It's been that way for a long time.
They might have been high, but your average person could afford health care before Obama forced us to buy mandates. I mean, a good example of it, my parents were in their 70s when this thing came into effect. My dad had already had surgery. They were no longer having children, but yet they had to pay for insurance for maternity. Outrageous.
Oh, yeah, and Obamacare. Yeah, that's true. Right, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. So this forced the prices to go up. That's what I'm saying. We didn't have that problem before, though they might have been high, but we still had good health care. But, so with that, it's just funny, though, how they complain about stuff that they created. Mm-hmm. And now they're talking about. So here's another one. Jack Smith, $50 million they spent in taxpayer dollars on this witch hunt. $32 million went to Mueller. So you had hundreds of millions of dollars these Democrats are spending going after U.S. citizens, and then they refuse to go after the illegals.
Yeah.
Again, it's just.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen if they win the midterms?
Well, you know exactly what's going to happen. Everything's going to come to a grinding halt,
and we're going to have impeachment after impeachment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't go that way.
Well, I'm with you too, but I just I look at it, shake my head. So,
I think what's going to help us is these delusional Democrats that are attacking our law enforcement. I think that's going to help in the midterms because I think the majority of people are going to get tired of this. They want to get up and be able to go to work and be able to be safe, not have to drive 16 miles out of their way because some morons protesting over some child pedophile. Yeah.
All right.
I think it's going to backfire.
It'll certainly be part of the mix. Let's put it that way. How big a part, I don't know, but it's going to be part of it. All right.
Yes, it will.
Good enough, Scott. Bye. Have a good one, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Yep, bye.
989-752-6111. What's happening in Minneapolis, what happened in Minneapolis and elsewhere, there are pockets of these protests around the country. They're not further dividing us because we're already divided on the issues. The people that are out there protesting are doing so because they felt that way anyway, except for the ones that are paid to be there. I don't give any credence to paid protesters. There was a gal on the news the other day. She was challenged by someone at one of these protests. Why are you here? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm being paid. Well, to me, that's not a protester. That's an actor. Somebody being paid to act like a protester. And I do not, while I understand the thought that, all of this is going to have some bearing on the midterm elections, it's funny when we go to the polls, all of that gets left outside. We look at our, I'll say this again, we look at our pocketbooks. You can have all kinds of things going on, and you can have all kinds of special interest votes, but the majority of people still vote their pocketbook. So, I think this is going to be an interesting election. History tells us that the party in power usually loses the House. There's been only, a few times in history where it hasn't. But you never know. You never, ever know. I would say this, though. In talking to folks, I hear more frustration about the way things are. And what worries me about frustration is people may decide to stay home. They may think their voice doesn't count, their vote doesn't count. They throw up their arms and say, there's nothing I can do. And that would be a shame if they didn't vote, because they could make a difference. And typically midterm elections don't draw the voters that the presidential election draws. It's always fascinated me. The closer you get to home, where the saying goes, all politics is local, yet our poorest, weakest turnouts are for local elections where we can have the most impact. Makes no sense. None whatsoever. But it's reality. Our poorest turnouts are for the very elections that control our neighborhoods, our schools, local government. I never could figure that out. Just the reverse of what it should be. So, and you know what? All this early voting and mail-in and all this stuff hadn't changed it that much. And I've said, and I will continue to say, I am not a fan of early voting and huge mail-in ballots and all that. Anybody can do it. I like the old system. We ask you one day a year in November to get off your duff and act like an American and get out and exercise the great privilege of living in this country and vote. I don't, and yes, we should have absentee ballots for those that either through work or because of mobility issues or what have you can't get out. I understand that. But not this just huge, hey, you want an absentee ballot? Just ask for one. What the heck? Anybody can do it. Oh, and let's vote 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time. I'm sorry, I don't buy into that. Never have, never will. It's my personal feeling. It's my personal opinion. And remember what I say, this is not a news show. It's an opinion show. I offer my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. And the other thing is I don't tell anybody how to vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. That's up to you. It's up to you to do a little research and learn about the candidates. Learn about their positions and how they square with your positions, or how they square with how you think they will react when they are placed in a position of power. But that's up to you. That's not up to me. All right, a break. Get back to the phone calls when we return.
The Great.
The Red Wings play 7:15 tonight on WSGW. You are with WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Got phone calls stacked up here, so we'll see if we can run through them. This is Gene in Bay City. Gene, good morning.
Good morning. One of my friends, her husband passed away. She's a widow. She turned 62, so now she can get Social Security. And, she has a lot of health problems. Well, even though she's getting Social Security, she can't get Medicare until she's 65.
Yep.
So, as a result, she has no health insurance. And the other thing, because the insurance on houses has gone up, my house insurance went from $600 and something to $900 and something. Well, anyway, she now has no insurance on her house, and she has no health insurance. Things are just not right for people that are low income. My other friend, my neighbor, she is in her 60s. I think she's 62 also. She gets Social Security, $900 a month she's getting. Well, she also was getting $300 approximate in food stamps. Well, because of the inflation raise, her Social Security went up like, I don't know, $20-$30. Well, what they did, then they subtracted that amount from her food stamps. So now instead of getting $300 in food stamps, she's only getting like $270, $280, whatever. So actually, with the price of groceries and everything going up, she actually got nothing because they subtracted what she got from raising Social Security. They subtracted it from her food stamps.
She not get Social Security from her husband?
Well,
when he
she's
passed?
not married.
Oh, I thought you said her husband died. No, okay, I'm wrong.
That's my other friend's husband died.
Oh, all right. Okay, I got confused.
But this other lady's never been married.
The only thing I can say is there's lots of food distribution points out there, and she needs to take advantage of them.
Well, I'm just saying, it just seems like the government is doing nothing for the poorest of the poor in the country.
All right.
On this other situation.
What situation?
People when they get married, they buy a house in a nice neighborhood where there's a good school system, and everybody, they check it out, and they have nice neighbors and everything, and they have a peaceful,
where are we going
happy
with this?
life, and they feel safe, the kids.
Yeah, all right. Where are we going with this, Gene?
What?
Where are you going with this?
Well, their peaceful life with their children has all been disrupted because men with masks and guns are walking around in these neighborhoods.
If they have a peaceful life, in their neighborhood, and their neighborhood is peaceful, they're nothing to worry about. The men with masks and guns are looking for particular folks, particular areas, and that's the way it is.
I'm kind of having trouble hearing you, but
I'm sorry.
At any rate,
okay, we've got to run because I've got calls stacked up here, so I want to get some others on.
You can understand where people want their peaceful, happy life and their common.
Yeah, okay, we
everyday
got
life
it, but they didn't do anything
and
illegal, so they have nothing to worry about.
That is why they're saying that they want
Gene,
ICE to get out.
We're gonna,
they want their peaceful life back for their children.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. This is Peg in Bay City. Peg, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I'm just calling on a lighter note. I want to give a public service information. Going back to cars, I just want people to be aware, maybe they all are and I'm the only one that isn't, that whether you buy a new car or an old car, there is a law there that protects the dealership. If that car has been in an accident, like the gentleman said to me from the dealership, if you take that new Cadillac out there and you get in an accident, we don't have to report it to you. We don't have to claim it. It has to stay under a certain percentage of damage, which they are in control of the cost of the car and what it costs to repair it. They do not have to disclose that. That's on a new car or a used car. And I said, you stand by that? You think that's a good, do you advertise that? And they said, well, no. And he went to look up, it's a different percentage in every state. And he came back, whoa, we're higher than I thought. And to be honest, because I can't remember what he told me, because this was
What don't they have
back.
to disclose? If the car's been damaged? Is that what you're saying?
No, right. They do not have to disclose that.
Right.
As long as it stays
Well-
under, I think the Michigan percentage it was like 5 or 6. He thought it was
And this
4.
is where some of the reporting agencies like Carfax come in.
No. Carfax. The car was cleared by Carfax. So this is on a new car or
okay,
used
on a-
car. I was
on a
buying a
used-
1-year-old. This
on a-
happened to me.
Yeah, on a
And
used
I had
car,
a-
you should be able to get Carfax on a used car.
Right. But the dealership does not have to report that if it happens under their ownership.
Wow.
They do not have.
Yeah.
And I just bought a car a month ago. When I told them I knew that, they got that look on their face that I knew that law because it happened to me. And they do not, long as they fix it, they do not. If you ask, and that's because I asked when I bought my car, has this ever been damaged with the dealership
Yeah,
or
right.
previous? But no, it does not come under a Carfax at all. They do not have to report if the damage is from the cost of the car, a certain percentage. I looked it up too. North Carolina's got a lower percentage. Different states have
Yeah.
a different percentage.
All right.
But it's not something they tell us. So they cannot lie to you if you say to them
If
when
you
you're
ask,
purchasing
right.
your car.
Right. So you
Yeah.
have to know to ask.
Yes,
All
that's
right.
simple as that.
That's the point. All right.
Yeah, they can't. I just thought I'd let people know.
Good information, Peg. Thanks. Take
You're
care.
welcome. Have
Bye-bye.
a good day.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Tim and Hemlock, hang on. You'll be next.
For 60 years,
And we're back with you. Let's get back to the phones. We're going to go to Hemlock this morning and talk to Tim. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, good morning, Art. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm doing well too.
Good.
I tuned in when you said I'm from the old school, and I think people ought to get up off their duff and get out and vote.
Yeah,
Am I correct that that's exactly how you feel?
that's exactly how I feel.
Okay, so we have about, you would agree, we have about 350 million people, and of those, would you agree that 250 million are eligible to vote?
Somewhere probably, because you got to take the under 18s out of it and all of that, and those that aren't eligible. So, 200 and
Yeah,
some odd million. Yeah, a couple of 100 million people.
Yeah, okay. So all of those people are supposed to find a way to vote between 7 in the morning, based on Michigan's polling anyway, 7 in the morning to 8 at night.
Always did. That's the way it always worked. And if you couldn't do it, you
No.
could get an absentee ballot.
Okay, that's where we're going. What are the reasons that you believe, because you're old school, for an absentee ballot?
Work, you're out of town, what have you. Health, you can't get out and vote. Pretty much.
Okay, health.
Not simply
let's say
because
I work-
not simply because I don't feel like it.
Okay, say at my place of work, because I'm an electrician, and this month I'm driving 90 miles one way to get to work. I got to be there at 7 in the morning. By the time I get home, the polls are closed.
Well, you
You would
qualify.
allow that person. You
Absolutely.
would qualify.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So you're not quite as old school as the guy that just says, get off your duff and go out and vote, because there are exceptions to the rule, and
There-
there's one of them for
well,
typical healthy person.
Okay, but let's understand what we're talking about here, Tim. There are exceptions to the rule. There always are. But in this case, they've changed the rules. And that's the part I object to. I don't object to the exceptions because there are always exceptions. But what I've What I object to is the fact they've changed the rules so you don't need an exception anymore. Now anybody can be an exception.
Okay, now let me ask you this. What are your problems with absentee balloting?